biggest need today is really about energy, the access to energy to very large numbers of people who still remain in the dark. And as an Indian, it's completely unacceptable to us that energy poverty exists. And it exists against the backdrop of very large numbers of countries having made their economic wealth based on dirty coal. And today, if there is climate change, and there is climate change, and we are beginning to see the pain of it in India, weather is getting more erratic. We are beginning to see more and more variable rainfall, more and more unseasonal hailstorms, which is destroying crops of farmers. So we know the pain of climate change. Nobody needs to come and preach to Indians that climate change is a reality. And it is in that context that we also understand that we need to have a balancing act for the future. We need energy which is affordable, energy which can reach large numbers of people. We also have an environmental challenge. We cannot afford to have pollution in our cities. We have to be much more resource efficient. And those are really the balancing that we as a country need to do. And those are the balancing act that I think all of us in this part of the world, the emerging part of the world, are doing. Some better than the others, some worse than the others. But we are all on the same effort to try and see how we can balance growth without pollution. And I think it's very important for us to have this meeting because till now, it's always been a north-south dialogue on coal. And it's always been a dialogue to say, okay, we used it at one time, but you can't use it in the future. And I think we need to make sure that we can change the very narrative of this dialogue to say, yes, we understand the pain of climate change. Yes, we will move towards a new energy future which is as clean as possible. But yes, in this interim, we will need coal, and in that we will have the cleanest coal power plants that are possible. And I think in that context, and I do want to thank Mr. Lavasa, who is here as the Secretary from the Ministry of Environment, a very bold step has been taken by the Government of India to actually come up with new standards for emission standards for air pollution, for water use, for resource efficiency in the thermal power sector. The Indian government has also put a 400 rupee, which is an equivalent to about $6.50 cess on every ton of coal that is used. And that's not small for a country which is beginning to energize and needs the energy to meet the needs of very large numbers of its people. So there has been enormous boldness on the government's part to both look at the cost of coal as well as to fix the emissions from power plants. And it is in that context that I think it's important for us to discuss this and to see how we can learn from each other. What are the best experiences, the best practices that we are finding in our own countries, in our areas of work, and from that see what further we need to do. But most importantly, we need to change the narrative. We need to take control of the narrative so that we can set the terms on clean energy and what it means for the future of the world. So it is in that context I'd like to welcome you all again and invite my colleague Chandrabhushan to give us an overview of the issues that we will be discussing. Thank you.